when we think about things from the wisdom of the world, that's the only conclusion we can come to. We don't actually hear what's being said, right? We have our own filter, and we filter through it.
Yeah.
So, listen, feel free, like Jay so beautifully pointed out, to kick the dust off your feet and walk on if you feel led to do that. Don't feel like you have some great commission where you must, don't take the burden of changing the person. Feel free to be led by the Spirit, right? Mm-hmm. And the Spirit will give you boldness to speak. Right. And you can ask God, give me boldness to say what you would say and how you would say it in all these situations. And after it comes out of me, man, be there with me to wash my conscience clean from judging myself. That's been my prayer to God. For so long, people think, well, if I tell Greg that the message was good, then he'll like the message. Listen, there isn't a thing in the world anybody could tell me to convince me the message was good. Because it ain't about what other people think. It's about myself. Yeah. I mean, listen, guys. I was telling Bobby, that's why I was such a great athlete. I have this perfectionism in me that I judge myself. It doesn't matter what other people think. I sit with the judgment where I judged every single thing I say or do to see if it was good or evil. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's like I went and picked up the donuts this morning. I was telling everybody, I just go pick up the donuts. Well, 2 dozen of the donuts are not in the manner that I ordered them in. Listen, all of a sudden, I didn't have to stop and think, or all of a sudden I felt this great pressing within and without that the donuts are perfect. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna die. All the people are gonna die. How can we have peace and love and joy when we don't have the assortment of donuts that we need? Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. See what I realize is that wisdom isn't just something I apply with the donuts. That's something that got put in me when I was young, and that I judge everything by, and even I judge my preaching by that. Right? So I could have said something that's beautiful, but if I don't think I said every single thing that ever could be said about a topic or a matter in every single way that it could be said, then I blew it. And it wasn't perfect. Right. And now how can we have peace and love and joy? Do you see how that works? Yeah. And so the prayer isn't that I can believe that it's good. That's not the prayer. The prayer is that I can walk away and not consider even if it was good. Yeah. That's innocence, right?
Paul said he did not even judge himself.
Yes.
I don't even judge myself.
Yes, and that's where the faith will get you. Where you don't walk away judging yourself or what you've done is good or evil. Right? You'll just walk away free. You won't even consider whether it was good or evil. That's the freedom of the gospel. That's my prayer to God. Father, I don't, listen, that doesn't mean it's bad when people tell you that it's good. You can feel greatly encouraged that they're experiencing life. You can be happy. Paul said, listen, I didn't desire a gift, but I desire that a treasure would be accounted to your account. He desired to see the fruit of the Spirit born in a person. So if a person is like, oh man, I feel the love of God, that was so good. Man, you can enjoy that. But at the end of the day, freedom will be where you don't judge yourself by whether or not people enjoy it, whether or not people like it, whether or not you think it was perfect or not. Right? And that's my prayer to God. Father, I want to walk away and not even have my mind twisting on, oh, I didn't say that, though. Oh, I missed this part of it. Oh, I did. Oh, man. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, wretched man that I am. Why do I even talk?
That's right.
Do you see what it'll do to you? But if you can walk away and say, I said what I said, it is what it is, I am that I am.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye now. Then you can actually enjoy what was said. You can go back and listen to it and be like, man, God is good. Right?
And the same thing goes for as far as freedom. You can have the freedom when what the other person said or didn't say, you don't judge that.
That's right.
You're having a conversation with someone else and you think that what they said back to you wasn't good, or they should have said this, or they should have done that. That's not freedom either.
That's not. Yeah. And especially ministry, like freedom for me was appreciating the aspect of the heart of God that comes out of any minister instead of criticizing the aspects that don't come out.
Right.
Or the parts that they missed or didn't exactly use the perfect terminology. Listen, that ain't God scrutinizing that thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not talking about whether they speak in pure law or whatever, but I'm saying there's a lot of preachers out there that their heart is full of grace and their terminology is catching up with what they know in their heart. right? And it isn't the grace of God to sit around and pick them apart, right? It isn't the grace of God to sit around and find all the faults in their explanations, right? The grace of God would allow you to just embrace the heart that they have, right? And love the God that does come out of them, right?